mullioned windows added to the general air of magic, like a fairy tale castle. Approaching one of the robed monks, the young man asked to see the abbot. The abbot was an old man, and a wise one. He listened to the young man's story about the terrible sin he had committed, and his long journey, and the butterfly that had led him to Sainte Madeleine. But when the abbot asked him what the nature of his crime was, the young man refused to answer. "My sin is too great, Father Abbot. I vowed never to speak of it, not even to you." "No sin is too great for God to forgive," the abbot told him. But he acknowledged the young man's vow and agreed to let him stay and work in the abbey vineyards. "The wines we produce here are the finest in all Burgundy. They feed not only ourselves, but the entire village. The Lord has blessed Sainte Madeleine with fertile soil and clement weather. Our part is to repay his blessings with our labour." For 3 years, the young man worked diligently in the vineyards, planting and trimming vines, tilling the soil, picking the ripened grapes at harvest time. The work was hard, but the young man relished it, believing it was his penance and his path to salvation, and that the butterfly that brought him here had been God's messenger. But as the years passed, the harvests began to decline. Heavy rains came, and swarms of beetles, never before seen in this part of the Yonne. Summers became so scorchingly hot they cracked the earth and shriveled the once plump fruit into useless blackened raisins that fell from the vines before they could be plucked. Winters grew so cold they froze the ground solid. Some of the monks started to whisper that it was the young man's arrival at Sainte Madeleine that had triggered these catastrophes. They complained to the abbot. "Ever since he came, the Lord has cursed us. We are all suffering for his sin. Soon the whole village will starve." At first the abbot dismissed their complaints, but after the 4th failed harvest, he called the young man in to see him. "My child," he said, "you must confess your sin. Our Lord already knows all things, but he requires us to speak our offences aloud. Only then can we truly be redeemed." "I understand," the young man said. He returned to his cell. The next morning, the monks awoke to a miracle. Before their astonished eyes, a yellow cloud descended from the heavens and settled over the ruined vines. As the monks drew closer, they saw that the cloud was actually butterflies. Hundreds and hundreds of butterflies, but of a variety they had never encountered before, their wings as pale and delicate as spun gold. After a few minutes, the butterflies disappeared as one back into the blue, leaving behind them grapes as ripe and fleshy as any the monks had ever seen. Overjoyed, they ran to tell the abbot, "The harvest is saved. The Lord's favour is once again upon us." The abbot hurried to tell the young man the good news. But when he reached his cell, he found it empty. The young man had gone. The monks of Sainte Madeleine gave thanks to God and carved beautiful butterflies into the stone walls of their abbey in remembrance of the miracle he had granted. From that day forward, the vineyards of Sainte Madeleine began to produce the finest vintage Bourgogne Rouge in all of Burgundy, year after year after year. The harvest never failed again. A few days after the butterflies came, the young man's body was found, hanging from a tree in the woods above Vézelay. His sin had died with him, unspoken. He never did break his vow. Part 1. Elise, 1923 to 1930. Chapter 1. Christmas Eve, 1923. "Hey, that's not fair," 7-year-old Elise Salignac squealed as the snowball hit the back of her head.